Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream. It's a very rainy night. Seems like everyone's getting rain. There was obviously a big hurricane coming in, but like even the north is getting a ton of rain right now. You have Trump at 281. You know, I put up on my Twitter what the likely election map would be unbiased. I think it is Trump at 287 or 281, something like that. What is up, guys? What is up? I'll let some people join in. Let me minus that out. Mark Robinson will sink Trump. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say the Mark Robinson stuff is not great, but I don't think it's going to kill Trump, especially not in Georgia. North Carolina, we'll see how much he loses by. I mean, if he loses by 20, then it's a problem. But I don't think he's going to lose by that much. I mean, there's been a few polls, reactionary polls, that have him down like 16, which obviously is bad. But that might just be the reaction, and then it'll probably get tighter. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I don't think, and certainly I don't think it's going to have an effect in Georgia. What is with the Oregon poll? Really, I haven't even seen an updated Oregon poll, honestly, man. The last Oregon poll I saw was with Biden, I think. You have Trump winning North Carolina, Georgia. So pretty much all the swing states. Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think right now, Arizona, it's getting to be like a 3 or 4 point lead for Trump. I mean, it's a pretty big lead. Nevada, there was that one poll, because I did a polling update today where I looked at all of them on Real Clear. There was that one Nevada poll that had Harris. It was the Bloomberg poll, Harris up by 6. It skewed it. I mean, you could argue that this is still a pure toss-up Nevada. It's hard to say. I mean, I would say very slight Trump lean, honestly, at this point. Georgia, I think you have to put in as a Trump lean. Even according to Real Clear, I mean, Trump's up by like 2.5. This is the closest election since 2004. Feels like everyone's, well, yeah, I mean, the lead up to 2020 was interesting because Biden had such a massive advantage in terms of the polls, but everyone thought the polls were going to be wrong because they had heard the exact same thing in 2016. Like Hillary was guaranteed to win, and then Trump won, so then nobody believed the polls in 2020. Yeah, the lead up to this is definitely way, way different than 2020 or 2016 because everyone is saying it's going to be very close. I mean, it just depends. It's going to be like a point here, a point there, maybe. It'll be like, depending on what happens with Wisconsin and Michigan. The Rust Belt is huge. Harris really needs to win at least 2 of the Rust Belt states. Really, probably all 3, I would say. Trump is rolling with the tide. Well, I mean, it is in Alabama. He's going probably with the home team, I'm guessing, because that's the crowd that's going to be there. He doesn't want to get booed if he picks Georgia. Scott Preston. Yeah, I saw him tweet that out. That's not good news out of Pennsylvania. But at least it's getting called out now, you know what I'm saying? It's getting called out. I mean, when it comes to these states, you could argue right now Harris leads. This is, I think, what I had it at, something like this, in terms of who's leading these states. These states are probably looking something like this. Yeah, it would be like Trump 297. That would probably be a non-biased model, honestly. Liberals will say, well, what about Wisconsin? You know, maybe Wisconsin to Harris. And that would put Trump at 287, so the one person might be right. Harris getting Michigan is, well, I think Michigan is a little, I mean, not all the states are going to mirror each other. I mean, they might go together, but they might not. It's such close margins. I mean, we can't just sit here and say, well, if Michigan goes, then they're all going to go to Harris. That's just, I think Michigan's the most liberal state out of all 3 of the Rust Belts right now. Right outside Charlotte, and we had power out for Hugh. Yeah, there's a lot of bad storms, man. 281 would be your final guess. 281. So, yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's not that close. Well, I'm not saying it's going to be this close. I'm saying this is what I think probably the most accurate map is based off of weighting and polling right now. Because if you weighted a little bit, you got to give Trump Wisconsin based off of how the polls have underestimated him. And you could also give him Pennsylvania, but I'm being conservative for Trump. I'm being very conservative for Trump. You see Nate Silver and Lichtman getting into a fight. Yeah, I saw it. Well, I mean, he's calling him out. I mean, it's the problem is he acts like his 13 keys are, it's a formula. It's not. It's a opinionated assessment of what he thinks. And I mean, Silver's like, listen, you're not attributing the same factors to these keys that you did, and it's clear that he hates Trump. So it's, I mean, that's a big issue. The keys are not a formula you plug in. It's an opinionated thing, and if you hate one of the candidates, it's going to be a problem. I mean, he said that Biden, that the liberals needed to keep Biden in or else they would lose. They take him out, and he still says they're going to win because he hates Trump. He has a vendetta against Trump. A lot of these people hate Trump, and Trump's destroyed their brain. Did you see any scenario where they get rid of Biden last minute to make Harris the president? Yeah, I mean, that's been going around for a while now. I'm sure that there's going to be big rumors about that as we get closer, because that's just what it is. That's just what happens. But, I mean, it's impossible for me to say. I mean, it's like a free headline for them, I guess. But I don't really know how that affects things. Like how does someone like, oh, now that Harris is the president for a week, I'm going to vote for her? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess if she gets her name in the headlines more. What about Harris? Huge financial advantage. Well, the liberals have had financial advantages against Trump every cycle. So I mean, I don't know the fundraising. I haven't seen a recent fundraising update on that. You doubt Nevada? You think 281? Well, I mean, Nevada is 50-50, I would say. Who's a bigger threat, Russia or China? Well, I would say certainly. I think China. The only argument for Russia is that they've actually invaded somewhere. China hasn't done that yet. In you know, the 2000s. But yeah, no, China is the bigger threat. But if you're talking about, well, if Russia's actually done something and China hasn't done anything, I think that's a talking point you can use if you're a liberal, because liberals are obviously obsessed with Russia. But no, just in a vacuum, if you compare the countries, China's a way bigger threat than Russia. Would you rather invite Rachel Maddow or Mark Cuban to your wedding? I'd say Cuban. I mean, Cuban, at least he's got money. But Cuban is crazy, man. He's definitely trying to be the anti-Elon Musk. I mean, it's interesting to see it unfold, but it's getting a little ridiculous. I'm surprised none of those people have called him out. Like, they should say, are you jealous of Elon Musk? You know, you've done a lot of stuff like mentioning buying X, buying, you know, Fox News. It seems like he wants influence that Musk has. Lichtman's model predicts popular vote. Well, he's gone back and forth on whether it predicts the winner or the popular vote. He keeps going back and forth. Miami up 14-7. That's going to be a higher scoring game. I saw Virginia Tech was up 7-0, but I guess now they're losing. 281 would be Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. You said Georgia twice, but no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, you could argue Nevada even. That would get Trump down to, and then also Wisconsin is what you're saying. That would be Trump at 281. So they split the Rust Belt. I mean, that to me, this is a good bullish scenario for Trump. The thing is, you are taking North Carolina and Georgia. Those are states Trump's going to have to fight for. But you're losing two of the big boys, and you're losing Nevada. I think Arizona's Trump's. I would be very surprised at this point if Trump lost Arizona. And I think liberals are mainly focusing on North Carolina and Georgia. They want those two states. They're not confident on Pennsylvania either, from the reports, apparently. Just finished watching the town hall in Michigan. Really? Maybe I should, well, I was going to react to it, but I was like, damn, it was on at 6 o'clock or some shit. I was like, this is a bit early for me. Which tower is your favorite? I don't know. I guess North Tower with the antenna. You could argue South Tower with the observation deck. I don't know. North Tower's got the restaurant, though. Dollar store Elon. It's like he's trying to be the dollar store Elon Musk. Odds Trump wins the popular vote. I saw on Polymarket it was about a 26% chance. I think it's probably higher. Trump is going to, if anything, he'll lose the popular vote by a lot, by like 1.5. I think liberals know the popular vote's going to be close if they understand what's going on in New York. I mean, Trump's going to make up 10 or 11 points in New York. That's going to help him significantly with the popular vote. He's going to make up at least a few points in California. He's going to make up a few points in Illinois. And then on top of that, winning, you know, making up 5 or 6 points at least in Virginia, making up a few points in Minnesota, possibly, you know, winning outright. Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, states that he lost in 2020. He'll definitely do better in the popular vote. Do you think Virginia is really in play? I'd say it's borderline right now. I'd say it's like a tipping, maybe a 4-point loss right now. It's hard for me to say, oh yeah, definitely Trump. I mean, listen, it's one of those states where if everything goes right on election night, it's definitely a state Trump could win. It's not out of reach or anything like that based on, I mean, if we saw polls that had her up by like 7 consistently, I'd say, yeah, there's no point. We're not seeing that. I mean, there was a +8, but most of them have been +3 to +4. I think Trump could win the 2nd district in Nebraska. I don't think that's happening. I mean, I've seen there's some bad polls out of that district, man. I mean, maybe, but it just doesn't look. It looks like it's going more to the left. Yeah, the VPs are doing a debate. Vance won the coin toss, so he'll be speaking last. That was just announced a few hours ago. I saw on X. So they'll be doing the debate on Tuesday night, the 1st of October. Waited 4 hours to get into. Dude, are you serious, man? There's no way I'd be able to get into that rally. Guys, I need a connection to get into that Butler rally. There's no way I'm getting into that. There's zero chance, because that is what happens. People were telling me that's what happens. You just reserve a ticket, but it really doesn't mean anything. It's first come, first serve. There's Trump people that wait outside these rallies at 7 a.m. I can't do that. I mean, I'd love to go to a rally and vlog it with other people, but it's like, when it comes to Butler's 2 hours from my house. Like, what am I going to, I'm not going to leave at 5 a.m. That's just not going to happen. Plus, that rally's not until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, they announced. Popular vote is nothing. Yeah, but I mean, at some point, if you're Republicans, you kind of want to win it, or at least make it like within a point or a point and a half. But I mean, you're right, on election night, if Trump loses the popular vote but wins, I won't give a fuck. Trump is winning Nevada. I mean, we're just going through scenarios here, man. Do you think a 269? I mean, 269 is, I guess, possible because all these polls say. I mean, remember there was an update that had every poll as a tie or whatever. It's pretty funny. So I guess it is possible. It's unlikely though, man. Oh, let's see what we've got here. There was an update. Did not expect to be talking about Virginia leading up to the election night. Yeah, I mean, we'll see with Virginia. Virginia voter turnout. The rules for the vice presidential debate have been set. Both candidates will stand. That's a win. I like that they're standing. Normally, the VP debates, they sit. There will be live mics through. Oh, there's going to be live mics in this debate. So we'll see. I'm guessing Vance will be more aggressive, but I don't know. There's going to be no live audience. Vance will have the last word. How is anyone getting into the Butler rally? Well, you have to understand, when they had that Butler rally, Butler's in the middle of nowhere, kind of, and that was in July. It's a little bit different now. That rally is going to have a lot more attention on it. That Trump's going back to the assassination attempt. There's going to be a lot more people there. That was just some random rural city back in July. Nobody expected there to be an attempt, so there was probably significantly less people at it. What happens if it ends 269? It goes to the House, and then Trump wins. But then I think Waltz becomes vice president. Live mics. You know what? I'm happy live mics are coming for a VP debate. That'll make it more interesting. If illegals are voting and they aren't in the polls, it would be a bad night for Trump. Well, I mean, obviously that's a whole nother issue with the illegals voting. I mean, if the illegals are seriously voting, Republicans need to get the proof, seriously, because this stuff cannot continue. J.D. Vance better not miss out on the chances Trump had to demolish Kamala. Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to a debate, it's gonna. I think Waltz is a little bit worse of a debater. Imagine he's not going to call him Tampon Tim. I think it would probably be a bad look. They're probably telling him not to do that. Why are Democrats so insistent they're not being audiences? No. I do agree with Democrats. A lot of the times what will happen is the audience will just freaking start clapping for 5 minutes, and it's annoying. I mean, look at what happens with Kamala rallies. It's just 5 minutes of pure clapping after she says like a word. It's dumb. When is the next Butler rally? It's October 5th. There's only one more. It's not like he's going to go back there again. He got one more rally there. Live stream, yeah, I'll live stream the VP debate. It'll be less. I mean, I'll be excited for it, but it's not gonna. Rasmussen, I mean, the Rasmussen polls have been good from what I've seen. They're polling, you know, liberal states like New Mexico. Trump's like down by 6, I think. Yeah, Oregon is definitely not going to go to Trump. On his way from one event to another. Yeah, so Trump has a rally tomorrow, I think. But I think the rally's during the day. Oh, yeah, because he's going to the Alabama game. I think he has a rally during the day, if I have that correct. Do you think Oregon will trend to the right? I mean, maybe to the right of, yeah, probably to the right of what it did in 2020, because it was really left in 2020 in terms of the margin. Did you see some liberal YouTubers are saying Harris might win Florida? I don't watch liberal YouTubers, man. Harris might win Florida, really. It's like Harris might win Texas. It's amazing. I hate how they no longer have town hall debates like they used to. Last one was 2016. Yeah, well, they don't have a lot of shit now because of the pandemic. It's changed the entire structure of the setup. They used to have 3 debates guaranteed. Now you've got Biden demanding a debate in fucking June. I mean, what is that? They changed the complete structure of them. Will you be live streaming? If I go to the Butler rally, I'm not going to be streaming it. It'll be a video. It would be better in a video format, trust me. Streaming an event like that with your fucking phone is not a good idea. I know, I saw the Nate Silver thing with Lichtman. Yeah, well, they're opinionated and he hates Trump and he's got a vendetta against Trump and he said that they need to keep Biden in. Lichtman said the Democrats would lose if they got rid of Biden. They got rid of him, and now he says they're going to win. It's a joke. The dude's just inconsistent, and he has a bias against Trump. He should just admit it. It's pathetic. And we'll have to sit here and do this charade with his keys and act like, oh, he's unbiased, and the keys say that she's going to win. No, you just hate Trump, and they're all opinionated keys. And Silver's like, the way you assigned these keys in the past is not consistent with how you're doing it now. I think polls will surge after the Butler rally. I don't know about that. I mean, it's going to be good optics for Trump. I'll definitely, that's for sure. Yeah, I saw the 747K. What is that, man? How do you even? That's a lot of fucking people. I mean, it's not like it was all going to be in the votes, but I don't even know what to say. I watch your channel a lot. Just wanted to say hi, and if you do go to the Butler rally, could you show us the crowd? Well, yeah, I mean, the crowd will definitely be shown. Is the Kamala speech happening right now? Is Kamala doing a speech or a rally right now? Sometimes, see, this is I don't even think this is real. A lot of these, they just play them and it's not actually, oh, this is legit.
The first comprehensive report in the state of California analyzing transnational criminal organizations and the threats they pose to public safety and to the economy. So stopping transnational criminal organizations and strengthening our border is not new to me, and it is a long-standing priority of mine. I have done that work, and I will continue to treat it as a priority when I am elected.
And I'm the badass prosecutor, and we let in God knows how many illegals. I'm the badass prosecutor.
And it is my pledge to you, understanding how solutions get formed, that I will reach across the aisle And I will embrace common sense approaches and new technologies to get the job done. Because I know transnational gangs coming across the border, trafficking in guns, drugs, and human beings could care less who somebody voted for in the last election. They could care less. They've got one goal in mind.
Well, why have you let them do it the past 4 years?
It is therefore critically important that anybody who calls themselves a leader would work with other leaders for common sense solutions, understanding the pain and the suffering that Americans are experiencing if we don't work together to fix these problems. And look,
you've created them.
Transnational gangs, one of the things I know about them, they are always innovating. So to disrupt them, we must do the same. And that means, again, working together in real time, grounded on finding common sense approaches, not just about some rhetoric at a rally, but actually doing the work of fixing.
But notice how she's making it all about these transnational gangs, because those are the people she prosecuted. What about everyone else? I mean, it's not just them coming across the border.
A problem. And as president, I won't only bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump tanked. I will do more to secure our border. To reduce illegal border crossings, I will take further action to keep the border closed between ports of entry.
But what about the last 3 years?
Those who cross our borders unlawfully will be apprehended and removed and barred from re-entering for 5 years. We will pursue more severe criminal charges against repeat violators. And if someone does not make an asylum request at a legal point of entry and instead crosses our border unlawfully, they will be barred from receiving asylum. While we understand
is she gonna announce she's building the wall?
Many people are desperate to migrate to the United States, our system must be orderly and secure. And that is my goal. And that is my goal.
The wall? Is the wall gonna be finished?
Securing our border also means addressing the flow of fentanyl into our communities. Fentanyl is a scourge on our country. The nature of it as a drug is such that it is highly addictive and it is highly lethal. So much so that using it one time only can be fatal. I have met far too many families, parents, loved ones who have lost a family member, a child.
She's done a complete 180 on the border. Yeah, I know. It's look, let me just play it. I mean, it's just pandering. Honestly, it is what it is. But they're forced to do the 180 on the border because they have to. I mean, Biden was losing immigration by 30 points. You know, I wonder if that's correctly. Let me just go back. I don't want to go back to this because now it's going to frickin' give me a bunch of ads. Dude, why won't it just ad block for me automatically? Let me see if I can go to that one thing. Where are the issues? Political leaders' favorability. You know, do they have Elon Musk's favorability? Nobody even cares about Biden anymore, it seems like. -14, he's always at that. See, Trump's at -8. That's good for Trump. That is good for Trump. Harris plus 0.3. If Trump's at -8 and Harris at plus 0.3, even though I think it's worse than that, that's still good news for Trump. Mike Johnson -9. Hakeem Jeffries even. Schumer -14. McConnell -39, although they don't even do with polls on him anymore. Kind of hypocrisy. Well, I mean, that's politics, man. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it's a joke. I mean, but why doesn't anyone ask her? I know it's such a, you know, oh, it's a Republican question. No, it's just a normal question. Why has it gotten so bad over the past 3 years? Trump had it at record lows. How is that possible? What happened with your administration to make it so bad? It's not like you inherited a terrible border situation. They were at their lowest point ever. How did it get this bad? They just keep referencing that bills that Trump, who has no power. I mean, he's not a governor. He can't veto anything, but Trump's the big bad guy who shot down a bill that was trying to fix their own problem. They created the problem, not Trump, and then they blame Trump. But like they lose the border 100 times out of 100. It's not even an argument. So that's why I always talk about the border, because it's such an easy topic to win against them. Did Harris? Yeah, I know. Why is she going up in? That is pretty remarkable, dude. When you look at the approval rating and her just go up like a freaking boomer, like just like a rocket, a literal rocket, like a straight line up for nothing other than media hype. Nothing. Legit media hype. That's it. What are the odds of Trump winning Virginia but losing Nevada? Well, I mean, it's more. I mean, that could happen. I mean, these are very close states. It wouldn't be completely shocking if Trump won Virginia by 0.3 and lost Nevada by 0.4. You know, that's not something that would be. It would be surprising, but I wouldn't be shocked by it, because we're dealing with small margins. When you're dealing with small margins, anything can happen. It's like people expect the Rust Belt to go all Republican or all Democratic. You could see a split between those three states because they're so close. I mean, they'll still vote together in terms of they'll be like within 1 point of each other, but you could have Trump win one state by half a point, Harris win another state by 0.3 of a point. I mean, they're very, very close. You should see the amount of drug and gun smuggling on the northern border. I have I've watched some videos on the northern border and how they have it's literally a line cut out in a forest. It's pretty crazy. The bill didn't even fix the border. Well, it give aid. It was going to give aid to Ukraine and amnesty. They couldn't even admit on their own fuck up. They had to try and get more. It's like, oh yeah, we'll do the border now, we'll strengthen it, but you've got to give all the illegals amnesty. It's like, what? You're the ones that messed it up. Why would we compromise and give a bunch of illegals amnesty that are undoubtedly either not going to vote and be a problem for society, or they're going to vote liberal? Why would Republicans agree to something like that? What sense does that make? You think well, I think tariffs have pros and cons, just like any major policy like that. They're gonna have cons. Trump will win the election unless they kill him. Well, I mean, I think we're all concerned about Trump's safety for sure. Any new Moreno versus Brown polls? Yeah, there was one yesterday. It had Moreno up too. There's been a few. Actually, I want to Senate polls. Yeah, McCormick is starting to get blown out in some of these polls. Ow. Lake got blown out in that Fox News poll. People were pissed off about that. I think Cruz is going to win for sure. Where is that Moreno poll? They didn't even include it on here. Yeah, I think Cruz has been winning all these polls. Yeah, Cruz is going to win. Cruz might win by 5.5. Trump might win by 7 in Texas. They don't even have that Moreno poll. There was a Moreno poll that had him up by 2. I don't even think it was that bad of a pollster either. I don't know why they did. They don't include some of the pollsters. I mean, it is what it is. Arizona is Trump all the way. Yeah, I agree, man. Sherrod Brown leading Moreno. I think right now, well, really, it doesn't matter as long as Trump wins Ohio by 9-10. Moreno will win. But I think Sherrod Brown might be up by like 1 in terms of the average, but Moreno's gotten better polls recently. Remember, Brown was up by like 5 or 6 like a month ago. So it's shifted considerably. Worried about Pennsylvania? Well, it'd be all of them. But yeah, Pennsylvania is the most important state. I would respect Kamala more if she just stood on business and said she wants illegals here. I disagree, but at least she'd be honest. Well, that's not how politicians are. They want to win, so she's obviously the issue with immigration in 2024, at least to appeal to independents, is to say, I'm going to be a hard ass. I prosecuted people. That's the thing. Liberals normally hate prosecutors, but they love Kamala. It just comes down to who is ever on your team. That's basically it. And whatever the media feeds you. So now they love prosecutors. I mean, Trump people do it as well. It's a team-oriented ecosystem we have. But yeah, I think it's probably something like this, honestly. And you could also argue this. That's your 312, but maybe Virginia as well. I hope Trump will be able to pull Kari Lake. Well, it's going to take a lot, it seems like. I don't know. Maybe if Trump wins by 4, it might happen. It might have to be around 4 or 5. Maybe Kari Lake will get pulled over. Who are these people that are split voting Trump with? Yeah, I think that's gonna it's gonna dissipate as we like, because these polls are kind of like, it's got, whoa, Trump winning by 5, but then the Democratic senator winning by 12. They're not gonna see that much variance. It's not gonna happen. Senate prediction. I mean, I could go over the Senate. I think probably 52 or 53 for Republicans. Liberals are trying to like say there's other Senate races now that could possibly go left because they're going to lose the Senate and they're desperate. So they're starting to say, is there a Senate map? Where's that Senate? There it is. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what state. So 50 right now. That's with West Virginia. Montana, I think, is a for sure thing. She, at this point, is got like a 90% chance. That's 51. I think Ohio is happening. Yeah, they didn't include that Moreno poll, but Ohio should happen. Moreno is leading the last poll. And Brown, you look at the last two, 2018, 2012. So 2018, it was a midterm year. So I think that'll be another one for Republicans. That'll be 52. And then possibly Pennsylvania. I know there were some kind of close polls, but it's probably not going to happen. Arizona might be the only other hope for Republicans, but it's been pretty bad. I mean, but if Trump wins by 4, it's going to be a close margin. It's not going to be 6. Lake will not lose by 6. If Trump wins by 4, it'll be very close. I don't know if she'll win, but it'll be close. Other than that, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, they're trying to take like Texas. It's not going to happen. Cruz will be able to keep Texas. Florida is another one they think they can win. It's not going to happen. Florida's way too Republican at this point. Does DeSantis or Vance win in 2028, or does Newsom win? Well, I mean, we don't even know if those are going to be the people that are running, honestly, dude. I mean, I think Newsom is probably one of the top contenders for the Democrats in 2028. If Harris, obviously, if she loses. Newsom, Whitmer, I mean, there's going to be other people that we don't know about, and then probably it'll be Vance. But if Vance loses with Trump, then Vance is not going to be the pick. I'm telling you that right now. DeSantis will be back in the game. Youngkin will be in there. What odds would you give on Harris winning the election? Well, the odds, in general, it's basically 50-50 right now. But I would have Harris at probably like a 20% chance. I would have Harris significantly lower. I mean, we don't know the news that's going to be breaking between now and the election, but if we went into election night right now with these polling numbers, I would be very confident in Trump winning. UCF or Colorado? I like UCF, honestly, man. It's really not about him. It's about people just don't like Kari Lake. She has said some statements that are, I mean, I don't know. I think people kind of overdo it with their hate for Kari Lake, but people are like, well, she shouldn't have been the choice, but I don't know. I mean, obviously she's polling way worse than Trump. It's not good, but. West Virginia will go red in the Senate. Yeah, it's already counted. How accurate is your map? This map? This is just a prediction. It's not an actual. This is just a prediction based on Real Clear Politics polls. It's not my map. I mean, you could argue Virginia. This would be like the best. This would be like an amazing night for Trump. Maybe even New Hampshire if he wins Virginia. I mean, it's impossible to say, but you act like the left isn't going to cheat. Well then, what's your strategy exactly? I mean, see, you can't. You have a doomer attitude like that. So what? Oh yeah, they'll just cheat. I mean, listen. Why didn't they cheat in 2016? Although I guess people think they did cheat and they just didn't cheat well enough. But look, I think you can't think like that, man. Trump usually surges late October. Yeah, no, I know. He normally does pick up steam. And he's already picking up steam in Arizona. Like, we've seen really good polls out of Arizona. It'll be interesting to see if there are some, maybe a little bit of a pushback in terms of polls out of Arizona, or if Trump maintains his lead. They might just give Arizona up, honestly. Any chance we'll see Vance running in 2028? Yeah, if Trump wins in 2024, Vance will run in 2028. If Trump loses, Vance might try and run, but he's not going to win. There's zero chance he'll be the nominee if he loses with Trump on this ticket. You think he's going to... Oh, will Vance run with Vivek? What, Vivek is the VP? I don't know what Vivek is going to do, man. It's impossible to say. I know, but a lot of people think Lake should have won that election. You think Michigan? Yeah, no, I think Rogers is going to lose Michigan. Yeah, the polls are way too... I mean, I don't think it's going to be the margin where they're saying it's like a 13 point... He's like 34%. I saw a poll. He's going to... Yeah. Do you think Joe Biden legitimately won in 2020? Well, look, I don't have a proof there was widespread voter fraud. The only thing I have is big tech blatantly cheated to help the Democrats. So whether or not you think that pushed them over or not, that's you can have your opinion on that. Miami on upset alert again. Oh, down goes Miami. Trump should have picked Vivek. I don't know about that. Minnesota isn't thrilled about Waltz. Yeah, I know, dude. The amount of people I've heard saying, well, you know, she's gonna win Minnesota because of Waltz. It's like Waltz isn't really moving the needle. I mean, Vance isn't moving the needle in Ohio either, but come on. West will win Pennsylvania. Cornel West. Maryland, I appreciate it. To everyone on here, if you live in a solid blue state, still get out and vote. Your vote matters down ballot. Yeah, your vote also matters in terms of the popular vote as well, to be fair. I mean, it's just like if it should just be something you do. It's, doesn't take long. The cover up on the Hunter, but well, that's the whole point. That was the whole idea of big tech manipulating it. Go look at Mark Zuckerberg's letter to Jim Jordan. That'll tell you everything you need to know. And I did a video on that, but people don't realize how crazy what Zuckerberg said. Zuckerberg admitted that the FBI and the CIA, they sought out the idea and they warned the company, because originally everyone was like, well, they were just warning them vaguely about Russian disinformation, but they said, no, there's going to be disinformation against the Biden administration. You need to block it because it's fake. Or there's going to be disinformation against Biden family corruption is what it was. This is all going out the window, then... You mean this is all going out the window because they'll cheat? Is that what you mean? I mean, listen. I mean, you can't be powerless. I mean, if there's going to have to be some recourse. There's really no way I can respond to that. Illinois early voting started. A lot of early voting has started. Yeah, I think Illinois is going to be a closer state this year. What was Illinois' margin? Illinois. I want to see Illinois' margins really quickly. 617. They really have no polls here. Yeah, it'll be about, I think, 12 or 13 probably. Trump's not going to make up a ton. Probably like 12. Trump will make up 3 points in Illinois, I would say. Probably. I mean, all those 3 states, the 3 absurdly liberal states, people hate how they're being run. So they're all going to at least be slightly more conservative. But New York's the big one. California, I don't know if California is really going to flip at all. Obviously, it's not going to flip, but in terms of like Trump doing better. Those 9 Iranian missiles smuggled in, that means they confiscated them when they found them. Yeah, well, did that turn out to be true? I mean, you would think that'd be reported, right? I know it was. People were saying they got the information that happened, but was it reported that it was true? Soros buying 200 radio stations. Yeah, he's trying to buy influence. Like, they're all trying to emulate what Elon Musk did. I mean, Elon, he understands it's so powerful to be in control of distributing information, and you know, there's going to have to be something that gets created. I don't know if it's by Elon or by someone else, to where we can't have Google with this much control either, because they're very far left as well. You were too young. I mean, I wasn't that young. I mean, I was younger for sure. But I mean, you just saying it really doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, dude. I hate to tell you that, but you have to actually, legitimately prove it. Trump could win popular vote because New York and California don't like governor. Yeah, no, I agree. I think New York will definitely swing 10 points in favor. Trump will only lose New York by 12, around there. He lost it by 23 in 2020. Can you go over your views on 2022? Yeah, there really wasn't a bad polling miss in 2022. It was regarded as a good year for pollsters. I mean, sure, in specific states there was misses, but the generic ballot, it was like 0.5 off. Liberals like to say that there was this huge miss in 2022 when they're wrong. They created a false narrative. 2022 was a good year in polling. Yes, they overestimated Republicans, but they act like it was the same as the polls underestimating Trump. It's not even close. And also, you're comparing midterms to general elections. Mac, I appreciate it. 1,000 pollsters planting. Oh, no. I know what you're talking about, dude. The thing that Trump is doing, Mac, he's setting up a bunch, and it's not just Trump, it's really just the campaign. There's going to be so many poll watchers. When will we know the winner after 1 week? No. We should know the winner. We should at least know where it's trending by like 2 a.m. Now, I don't know if they're going to do the same bullshit where technically they don't call it, but I think it's going to be a lot different. I mean, the election has to be different. There's no COVID. It was the heart of COVID. If it's not different, there's something significantly wrong. But even the midterms, I did the phone call with the Red Eagle, and he made a good point. The midterms, the voting was it's a little bit different because there's less people voting, but they did the voting, the counting way quicker in the Rust Belt swing states. So the voting is going to come in quicker, and there's going to be poll watchers, way more poll watchers. Listen, it's going to be harder for them to cheat. A lot harder. How did you feel this time around, last election, 2020? I mean, the polls were way worse for Trump in 2020. I think all Republicans were kind of like, oh, well, they got it wrong in 2016, so they'll get it wrong in 2020. But undoubtedly, right now, the polls are way better than they were in 2020. Not even close. So there's no narrative that we have to be like, oh, the polls are way wrong. The polls basically say it's 50-50 right now, which is a win for Trump. I don't think Soros is going to get a bunch of boomers to go liberal by radio. Yeah, but there's something. Obviously, he's not doing it for nothing. Thoughts on the beef with Silver and Lichtman? I mean, he just called him out because Lichtman is partisan. And he's got opinionated keys that he argues are a formula. It's not a formula. He's anti-Trump and he manipulates the keys. They're opinionated. You could very easily say Trump wins based on his own model, but the keys, it's like, well, was there a major? It's like, you know, was there a big event? And okay, well, liberals think no, Republicans think yes. I mean, it's not like you're plugging numbers into a formula. It's opinions. Alex Stein. I mean, I've seen a few of his things when he crashed some stuff. I mean, I don't watch a lot of him though. I think I saw him on Timcast once. I heard a lot of people saying that 50-50 is a win for Trump. Yeah, based off of how they've pulled Trump in the past, 50-50 would be very good news for Trump. Do you know how if the pollsters have well obviously there's gonna, you would hope, have to be some type of adjustment, but even if there is adjustment from like a Quinnipiac or a New York Times, you're still seeing the same bullshit with someone like Bloomberg with their polls and how off they are. I mean, you can look at Bloomberg and guarantee, and we'll see what their final polls are, but right now they're just so off. They're not even close. I mean, even if she wins, their polls are going to be so off. It's just manipulating the average. Seems the 13 keys are more opinionated. Well, yeah, well, he's got a bias against Trump. That is what it is. Yeah, Storm, you're right. You're right. Especially when it comes to after the election, if something happens, it's a hard line to maneuver. Talk Tua is the rage right now. It is. It's amazing. That's like a one-hit wonder. Come on, that show's gonna go down. Alex Jones 2028. Well, they've already vetted him. Imagine them vetting Alex Jones. Saw a poll from Bloom. Well, it doesn't even matter. The crosstabs don't matter. It's just not an accurate poll. It's not going to be accurate. 10% were LGBT. I'm not even. They show that stuff. I don't even know that. Here's the photo op. Kamala's at the southern border, just long enough for the. Well, I mean, obviously this is what they do, but. Sorry about that. That was a bit loud there. Like, what is this even? What are reasons that an election could be stopped? Like power grid goes out, or there's a war, and Biden declares there's no election. I've heard that can happen. Imagine how the media would attack Alex's campaign. That would be a World War III in and of itself. Nice seeing more support for Trump on social media. Yeah, no, I agree. But thanks to Elon, I mean, imagine the climate without. I mean, YouTube always had Republican support, but With X, it's a whole different ball game. Wow, she's gonna really save us with the southern border. Their administration. I saw a tweet that I don't know if it was I think it was Arizona. They put up these makeshift crates to like try and protect because they didn't have the wall complete. That the Biden administration made them take down the crates that the Arizona had put up to try and protect from the illegals coming in. They said you need to take them down. You can't do that. Lee Corso's got to retire. I mean, Lee Corso needs to retire, man. Come on. What are they talking about in the pic? It's probably some bullshit like she's talking. They're talking about their protocol. It's probably their protocols. Dennis, I appreciate that. Inspecting the border. That's a lot of barbed wire. If the election were held today, what do you think the numbers would be? Well, I think Trump would be around 312. 312 or maybe 297 or 312. Is Kamala? No. I think she's in Arizona. I think Trump went to the Texas. Well, I mean, Trump's been to the wall so many times or the border, but I think she's because I saw Mark Kelly with her, so I'd imagine she's in Arizona. Miami, down goes Miami. Yeah, I mentioned that in a video today about them approving citizenship requests. I mean, come on, that's like something that's like a meme. Like seriously, really? I wonder why they're doing that. I grew up with a middle class. Well, I was born in a small town. I was born in a small town. I was born in a small town. Georgia, Bama, huge. Love the channel. I appreciate it, Nick. I appreciate it. Hopefully my alerts are going through, although I don't think they are now. I don't know. Trump should go on Talk Tua. I mean, listen, Talk Tua's taken over. It's bigger than Rogan, man. How about Rogan? Rogan needs to get to Trump on so we can see it. Let's just see it. Come on. $312 or more. Virginia. Thoughts on X polls? Is it more conservative now? Or nah? X polls. What is that, a pollster or just the polls in general? Or Twitter polls? Are you talking about when somebody makes a poll on X? Like who's going to win, Trump or yeah, you can't, if that's what you're talking about, you can't pay attention to that. It's not realistic, man. If you're talking about polls on X, many of them are conservative. Or listen, if you're a liberal and you have like 500K followers and they're mostly liberal, then it's going to be a liberal slanted poll. It's not a scientific thing. I know, I saw Dave Ramsey is doing the podcast with Trump, so, I mean, Trump will do podcasts with people, you know? But Dave Ramsey had to go there to do it with him. Rogan doesn't want to go to Trump. It's like a dick measuring contest. At least it's not a height measuring contest. Yeah, Trump's going to the Georgia-Bama game. How many electoral votes does California lose in the census? Well, listen, the census is not done for another 6 years, so it's hard to predict, but I would say, didn't they... I don't know, man. I don't know how many they lost already, but I think the projection is they're going to lose 4 electoral votes. I believe the projection is they're going to lose 3 or 4. If Trump wins the popular vote by half a point, I think he'd still get like 312, maybe also Virginia. So maybe like 325. I mean, if he wins the popular vote by half a point, I think he's over 300 for sure. Hmm. Can he fire a truck along with AOC and our two amigos? Who will he fire? Well, I think there's going to be a major change. We have to understand with Trump, he can only do so much. I mean, Trump said he was going to be a dictator, but he just meant with the executive orders. Are you talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? I think Trump is going to change. Listen, Trump is going to change some of a lot of the federal workers who are liberal. Yes. Boy, people hate Fox News now. Listen, this is what happens. I mean, it's like every conservative network ends up getting. Well, do people like Newsmax still? Do people watch Newsmax at all? You're saying 317 electoral votes? I mean, if he wins the popular vote, yeah, it's very possible. I keep seeing now there's 38 days until the election. I'm getting to handpick a lot of 14,000 people that I will appoint to his second administration on day one. I'm in the transition team. We're picking 14,000 people. Well, there you have it. They're going to appoint 14,000 people. 8 years of Kamala, 8 years of Waltz. I don't think they would even choose Waltz, man. I don't think they would choose Waltz, even if she won with him as the VP. You watch Newsmax? Yeah, Fox. Conservative people watch Newsmax now over Fox. Yeah, Fox is still the number one in terms of views, though. Newsmax is about to go public on the stock market, really? Thought Pennsylvania poll. I thought there was a Republican pollster that was supposed to release polls today. I didn't see it yet either. Non-detained, non-citizen convicted criminals, half a million. Tim Walz is going the way of Tim Kaine. Yeah, that's the correct take. Tim Walz might even be more irrelevant than Tim Kaine at the end of the day. Rogan should quit being a bitch and go to him. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Rogan, though. I mean, his podcast is better at his studio, to be fair. That's just, I mean, if they force him to dress up, it kind of ruins it. Nick, what is the October surprise? They're probably gonna make something up about the hack or something. That's my prediction. They'll probably be like, "Well, we found the Iranians hacked Trump, and we found some stuff." It's probably gonna be fake, honestly. It'll probably be something to do with the hack or something coming out. Miami sucks. Is Miami losing? Rogan will eventually go the way of Howard Stern. I don't see that, honestly. I don't see that happening. That would be surprising. Willie Brown tapes come out. You're watching all 4 hours. You think they're sitting on them? I wonder if they're going to release those, if they are sitting on them. Probably October 15th, they'll release them. I saw that meme coin trending, man. I didn't buy that. I mean, even if you bought it, you probably, I mean, it's too late, you know. That's just those are just moonshots. Like people that actually made money off of those, it's like 1 in a million. Most people that bought those ended up losing money, I'm sure. What Willie Brown tapes? I think they're just rumors. The October surprise will be Biden resigns and Kamala becomes the first female president and addresses the nation to be able to deliver a teleprompter address. Yeah, the October surprise. Yeah, that'll give them some free publicity. It's just a charade, though. I mean, is that really going to help? Bought in at 20 million. What did it go to? Did it go to 250 million in market cap? Did you get like a 10x, 12x? You sold. How does President Trump look like in Wisconsin? I think, I mean, I think he looks pretty good for Wisconsin. He looks decent right now in winning Wisconsin. Any Lego vids? I mean, I had a Lego vid, but I never released it. I mean, I don't think it's good for my channel. It hit 300 million. It is pretty crazy that it could go up that high, that quickly. Only thing in the world. If Harris takes over and Trump wins, I guess that would be, yeah, but imagine Harris was actually the president for like well, I guess she would have the lame duck period as well. But she'd basically be president for a week and then she loses. And then she's a lame duck for like 90% of her presidency. She never mentions her father. Well, someone said that Kansas Owens was calling out her family or something, exposing her family. I don't know. I wonder if Trump won't go on Rogan because he really doesn't want to do a truly unscripted 2 to 3 hour interview. His Lex interview felt more formal and restricted than Lex's. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. But Lex kind of does have that feel to himself anyways, doesn't he? Lex has a lot more of the scripted feel than Rogan does, you know? But I mean, I don't watch a ton of Lex, so I wouldn't really be able to tell the exact difference between a normal Lex podcast and what he did with Trump. I mean, I'm sure it was shorter. I mean, Vivek went on for 2.5 hours with Lex, I saw. Are you going back to previous content? I don't know what I'll do after the election, honestly. I think it'll be whatever. I mean, at a certain point, you got to slow it down and stuff, and maybe just have. It's going to be a lot less, negativity and stuff, I guess, because you're not going to be dealing with all this stuff. But Lex has no personality. Yeah, Lex was getting a ton of hate from people in my chat when I was watching that interview. Do you really think Rogan? Well, I would want it for the entertainment value, honestly. Why are there so few New Jersey polls? Yeah, I think because people don't think it's a swing state. But I agree with you. I'd like to see a few more New Jersey polls. I think it's probably Harris plus like 12 if I had to guess. But maybe it's less. I mean, listen, if New York is plus 12, I mean, you would think New Jersey would be slightly less liberal, but because people think it's just going to be a liberal state, they don't want to waste money polling New Jersey. But I mean, there should be at least a few New Jersey polls. Are we actually going to be doomed like everyone says? Well, it's impossible to really know exactly what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good. It's certainly not going to be good. I mean, I'm not going to sit here like some people and say for sure it's over, but there is the potential to really, really destroy the country's demographics. Did you watch the One Teen? I tried to watch that shit. I don't really watch that type of stuff, man. I mean, it seemed like they tried to make the kid be this smart ass, like liberal little pussy boy. I don't know, man. The DG experience, yeah. Joe Rogan will get angry. Now you gotta be original. Trump do a better 2-hour pod with Rogan than he did 2-hour podcast with Dr. Phil. Yeah, but Dr. Phil is a lot different than Rogan, to be fair. Yeah, New Mexico did have a poll. New Mexico has now had 2 polls that I've seen in the past 3 days. One of them was like Harris plus 8. The other one by Rasmussen, I think, was Harris plus 7. So there has been a few polls in New Hampshire recently. It is rare, though. You think the hurricane is going to make voter turnout? Well, this hurricane, I mean, if there's a hurricane during election week, then it'll be a problem. But this is early, you know. I think people will be able to get around the damages and stuff like that, and it's not going to affect it. There you go. Rasmussen just did. Thoughts on Chris Christie, dude? There was an account that tweeted out Americans' obesity rate is like down 2%, and it just has a photo of Chris Christie. They were clowning on him, man. They really were. You have Trump at 60% chance to win. I mean, that is fair, to be honest. I would say a bit more than that, but that is fair. Have you seen Candace Owens' Kamala research video? People have been telling me to look at it in chat. I'll have to look at it after I get done with this. Yeah, I don't think New Mexico's got much of a chance. I mean, we were talking about it with Biden, but it's not going to happen right now. Thoughts on Polymarket? It's a good reference point to look at. It just gives you another data thing to look at, like a live sample. So it's just something to look at. It's good for content, you know. Gives you like a real-time update on stuff. Although I do think it can be manipulated. James, I appreciate that, man. Have you watched any of the Titan hearings? The only thing I've seen with Titan is I did see them discover it, which they kind of manipulate. I mean, they said the thing imploded, and they were telling us that it completely got blown up, and we could see it down there. But apparently the inside of it got completely blown up, from what I understand. Alex, what's up, man? Betting odds have only been wrong twice. Well, I mean, how long has it been since we've had the betting odds for U.S. elections? That's another thing you have to think about. I mean, obviously the favorite is normally going to win, right? There's going to be the favorite is going to win more than not. I mean, predicting Reagan to win in re-election is not very hard, you know? It's like predicting Obama to win in 08. There's going to be easier elections, which are going to make it. But this election, I mean, I feel like you really can't say, you know, not every election is the same. When you're dealing with incumbents, it's going to be easier. It's, you know, there's a number of factors that go into something like that. So you can't assign the fact that, oh, the favorite's always won to an election like this when it's got different variables. Because sometimes, I mean, it's very easy to predict the incumbents to win. What's happening with Miami? I'm gonna have to take a look at that. I don't know. It's typical Miami, though. It's another Miami choke job. How much money was wasted under Biden in the Ukraine? Well, it depends what you consider. You know, liberals will say there was no money wasted because it slowed down Russia's attack, but my viewpoint would be, I think there should have been more money coming from Europe rather than the United States. I got this thing. I don't even know. It's like a brush or something. I don't know. The information on Stockton Rush. Yeah, that's an interesting dude. I remember that whole thing. Chicago gangs. Yeah, well, that came out like right when they were taking over places. Chicago gangs going at Venezuelan gangs, and they're having a war. Yeah, but in 2016 they paid out everyone that bet on Hillary 8 hours before Trump. Really, they paid people out before the election actually results came in. I do not remember that. You know, there's a tweet that I put up, and it has the how much Hillary was the favorite. She was minus 900 at 8 o'clock at night. Minus 900 at 8 o'clock. That is crazy, man. How much time do you have to get off? I'll just yeah. I'll be getting off, guys. Here, you have brain fog. My brain fog cleared. Probably, it's been a whole thing. My brain fog probably cleared in like maybe July, maybe a little bit earlier than that. Maybe June. Am I going live tomorrow? I don't know, man. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think it just depends. Dude, I love zombies, man. I might play some zombies after the election, things like that, just to do laid back streams or something. I'll play Black Ops 1 zombies. I'm getting a new computer at some point, a really nice computer. It'll be better. I just read favorites 150 or under are 1 and 6 in elections as favorites minus 175 or over are 26 and 2. Yeah, as long as she's not an overwhelming favorite, if that is true, that's good. Those are good numbers. That's good data. And the nonsense male gender. Yeah, well, it's funny. Liberals say it doesn't happen. That's their argument against it. It doesn't happen. It's like kids transitioning. It doesn't happen. Well, no, it does happen, and that's why you've put laws to allow it to happen, like in California, when they passed a law that allowed kids to transition, tell their teachers, and then the teachers don't have to tell the parents that they changed genders or asked to be called something different. If the popular vote is Dem plus 3 or 4, will Trump still win? Oh, no, I think that's borderline, probably not. Wow, look at that. Is that Russian? Some Russian money coming in. I appreciate that. Han. Worried about Fox News poll with Georgia ahead. Am I worried about it? Is it also appropriate to accurate to add +4 red to every? No, not every poll. It's not accurate to do that. I would just say with that Georgia poll, that was an outlier Fox News poll. And a lot of people get Fox News wrong because it is a right-wing news organization. Their polls are not right-wing. If anything, they're more left-wing than right-wing. So people will see that and liberals will be like, oh my God, it's +3. That means she's winning by even more than that. It's just not true. Look at every other poll out of Arizona, or out of Georgia, that is. Arizona looks really good too, but even Georgia, pretty much every poll has Trump up except for that Fox News poll. And then liberals say, oh, it's more, we put more stock into it because it's a Republican pollster, but their polls have not been leaning Republican at all. If anything, they underestimate Trump. So people have to understand that. you can't just because they're a right-wing source, oh, then their polls must be overestimating Trump. Historically, that has not been accurate. Black Ops 3's not. Yeah, I don't like gobblegums, man. That shit's, it makes it too easy. Do you think World War III will happen if Kamala is elected? Well, it's impossible for me to answer that question. The only thing I can say is there's a higher probability of escalation with a Democratic leader regime rather than a Republican one, based on their opinions on the Russia-Ukraine war. There's a higher probability of escalation. That's what I'll say. I'm not trying to sound nuanced. I'm just that because I can't say for sure it's going to be World War III. That's just, how can I predict that? I mean, World War III will happen when it happens. Hopefully, it never happens. But who do we think will win the VP debate? I think Vance will do very well in the VP debate. There's a tracker that has Vance. I think he's done like 40, 50 speaking arrangements compared to Trump's done like 10, Waltz and Kamala have done like 4 combined. I mean, Vance is and there's a reason for that. Vance is very good at talking. Now they'll say, well, but Waltz is more likable. He's the dad. He's more relatable. They'll just say that. I mean, it is what it is. Can Trump win without Pennsylvania? Yeah, he can. Trump can win without Pennsylvania for sure. You'd want Pennsylvania, but, in a scenario like this, maybe more realistic something. Trump's at 293, but if he loses Pennsylvania, it's probably also going to be a loss in Michigan at least. If he did lose Wisconsin as well, that's the entire Rust Belt. You would be looking to pick off Virginia to make up for that. But the problem with Pennsylvania is we think Pennsylvania is going to be slightly to the right of Wisconsin. Well, I don't know about Wisconsin, but Michigan. So if he loses Pennsylvania, he's probably going to lose Michigan. NATO is escalating the war. Well, I mean, that is kind of victim blaming. I mean, listen, that entire conversation needs a full multiple hour vetting process, because we can blame Russia, we can blame NATO. It's a lot more complicated than just one way or another, because they did. I mean, NATO expanded probably far too much into Europe in terms of that agreement and what countries joined it, and now there's more countries joining it as well. I mean, it's like at a certain point, you do understand what the other side of it. I mean, if there's a military agreement against the United States and Mexico's in it, it's a big issue. I think Wisconsin will vote to the right of Pennsylvania. I mean, you might be right on that. It's very close. I'm not saying for sure that Pennsylvania is going to be the most conservative out of the 3. Do you think there is a lot in common between predicting sports and predicting elections? I don't know about that. I mean, to me, they're really different things, honestly. How do you feel about President Trump's meeting with Zelensky? I thought he made the United States look very good. Seems like Zelensky was very almost humbled during that meeting, and it doesn't hurt that Trump's a lot taller than him. Obviously, that's it just optics. It looks good, but I think it made the United States look very respectable that meeting, and it seemed like it was definitely the United States kind of. It was like it was where we should be, really, when you're in a meeting with Zelensky, rather than with the Democrats almost bending the knee. RFK praised Trump for, well, so did I. I think it's great, and it shows you that a deal can be reached, and Trump does have a cordial relationship with Zelensky, and that's needed. VT crushing Miami. Yeah, Miami's done. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this one. That's gonna do it for this live stream. I'll be seeing ya. Cornel West wins Vermont. Well, it's understandable. It would be something. He looked like the boss was back. Yeah, it did have that kind of feel to it. It's pretty impressive. Yep. All right, guys. I'll see you though.